Okay, we've got a table of data, and it's about pens, and each pen has got a colour and each pen has got a type, and we want to calculate some probabilities of various things down here. So you know when you're working from numbers in a table that it's a really good idea to put a total column on and a total row on. Okay, you can do this on your own copy of the table, but you can even do it on the question paper itself, as long as you show clearly the numbers you're using in each part. So the probability of a blue pen, well, for these ones here where we're working with numbers, probabilities are always going to be a fraction, and the bottom number of the fraction is always going to be the total number of, this case, the number of pens that it could be at the point where we pick it. So unless it's a conditional probability, then if we're picking any of the pens, then this number here is going to be relevant. But the top number is going to be, okay, so how many of those pens are blue? Okay. So similarly for a marker pen, this time we have actually got to combine these two rows because we've got two types of markers, but otherwise it's similar. Okay, here we've got or events. So again, this could still be any pen from the basket. Okay, so the bottom number is not going to be a problem. But for the top number, we need to count up all the pens that are either blue or a marker pen. Okay, so that means we're going to be interested in these two rows, but we're interested in this column. So you have to decide which numbers from the table you need to combine. Now the last two probabilities contain this magic word given. Okay, that means that these are conditional probabilities, and we've got to decide what are we being given. Okay, so are we given that it's a green pen, or are we given that it's a highlighter pen? We're given that it's a highlighted pen. Now that affects the bottom number of your fraction. It's going to be, the bottom number is how many pens it could be at the moment when we pick it. Okay, and we know that it has to be picked as being a highlighter pen, so therefore the bottom number of this fraction is going to be affected by the fact we know we're on this row. Okay, and then we fill in the top number, so this top number will be the number of green pens out of that number of pens that we could be choosing from. So again, you have to decide what from the table will give you that top number. And the second one is a given again, so this time we're given it's a red pen, so that means that there are some places in the table we can be, some places in the table we can't be. So the bottom number of our fraction is going to reflect the fact that we know that the pen is chosen is red, and then the top number is going to be selecting from the red pens how many of them are non-permanent markers. So if you think clearly and you know how to organize the data in the table, then you should be able to hoover up lots of these lovely marks.